Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise once again to discuss the harsh realities of homelessness in America and to call attention to the Republicans' so-called poverty agenda that simply ignores the fact that men, women, and children are sleeping on the streets of America, eating out of garbage cans, and using our sidewalks and streets for restrooms. Homelessness is one of the most tragic and disappointing reminders of the overwhelming poverty in this country. According to the latest estimates, almost 600,000 Americans are homeless. It's a problem in virtually every district, and it affects people from very different walks of life. 37% of the homeless population are represented in families. 15% are chronically homeless, 8% are veterans, and 6.5% are children. While there's a claim that some progress has been made to decrease homelessness in some communities, a lot more needs to be done, especially in some of our largest cities where homelessness is sadly increasing exponentially. In my hometown of Los Angeles, homelessness increased 20% between 2014 and 2015. In New York City, homelessness increased 11% between 2014 and 2015. And in Chicago, there was an 8% increase in that time frame. As public policy makers and members of Congress, we have a responsibility to deal with problems and circumstances that undermine and harm our way of life. We are a people who cherish religion. In every religion, there's a reference to feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, and clothing the naked. Where are the Republican members who regularly hold prayer meetings, who attend church on Sunday in their districts? But yet, they're supporting this fake poverty agenda that does not even mention homelessness. Where are the members who claim to honor our veterans, yet walk past them on the sidewalk in their tents and sleeping under our bridges? We know that we can functionally end homelessness and alleviate poverty in this country. We know that federal resources and the social safety net are incredibly effective at lifting up struggling families. We know that if we properly support the Department of Housing and Urban Development and other federal agencies, that we could create the necessary housing units and provide the social services that our neighbors need to get off the streets. What we need is simply the political will to get it done. Unfortunately, we do not have the support from Republicans whose sham of a poverty agenda released this week would only exacerbate homelessness and punish the poor. Take the Republican approach to housing assistance, for example. For years, they have cut funding for HUD programs, leaving more than 75% of eligible families without any housing help at all. And their latest poverty plan recycles some of the most harmful changes Republicans have sought for our housing programs. They refuse to acknowledge the realities of unaffordable rents that require families to earn almost triple the minimum wage to be able to afford a modest two-bedroom apartment. And they want to impose these so-called work requirements that simply don't work if you ignore the already high unemployment rates in certain areas, as well as the need to invest in job training, education, child care, and other social services to make it possible for individuals to obtain stable employment. What the Republicans have put forth is truly the wrong way forward. Fortunately, Democrats know what it takes. And when we talk about issues of homelessness in particular, there's a very simple solution to this very real problem. That's why I have introduced H.R. 4888, the Ending Homelessness Act of 2016. Now, a lot of people will say, oh my goodness, Did you see how much money is in that bill? This bill would devote over $13 billion over 5 years to housing assistance programs and create the housing units and services that we so desperately need to get people off the streets. And so, while others will point to this bill and talk about the cost of it, the fact of the matter is this is the richest country in the world, and we spend money on so many other things that are not as important as taking care of our most vulnerable population. And so, yes, this is a $13 billion bill. We've got to stop playing with this issue and thinking it's going to go away simply because we don't want to acknowledge it. We've got to pay for the possibility of ending this homelessness. I cannot bear the thought of children sleeping in their cars every night and getting up and going to school the next day.
Mr. Corbello for 5 minutes.
Well, I guess I'll give back the balance of the time that I don't have. Thank you.